So it is the Dinamo team from Riga in Latvia against Team USA. The USA selects with Artur Irbay in goal, the draft choice of Minnesota. Most respected goaltender in international hockey, as John told you, in the World Championships, the MVP last spring. Chad Erickson goes out of the University of Minnesota Duluth. His coach, Mike Serdich, is from the same school. He's behind the bench for Team USA. A little different. Normally the Soviets are in red, the Americans in blue. It is just the opposite here in Orlando tonight as the Soviets backpedal to their own zone. Samariak in the corner playing it ahead now as the Americans forecheck and try to keep some early pressure on this team from the Soviet Union.
Don, that's the style that the Americans want to try and employ. Attack in all zones to slow the Soviets down.
Here they come with Samariak carrying it to the corner, losing it there. David DeVita for the United States clears the zone back to center ice. And the Soviets backpedal inside their line to come forward once again. Again, close checking by the Americans pays off at the blue line. In they come, the flip down to the corner, and the race is on. For the USSR, Chudinov comes up with it, and he gets it back to the blue line and finally out to the neutral zone. Left wing pass for Zinoviev. In across the line they go. Here's the backhand pass coming to the far side. Crunch for the Soviet Union, takes quite a check in there. Jim Maher for the United States tries to clear, can't get it out. Soviets keep the pressure on. Good scoring chance there, but McEachran clears. We're on the second minute of play. Good skating, wide open hockey so far between the USA selects and the Soviet team from Dinamo. Here's a chance for the Soviet team, but it's broken up quickly by Maher inside the line. He sends the Americans back with a shot that drifts wide from the stick of Tony Amati barreling in. McEachran behind the goal, tries to center it out. The Soviets come away with it.
Good hitting by the Americans early, Don, and it's clean hitting, staying out of the penalty box.
Wide open left wing pass. There's a shot, and out to block it is Chad Erickson. Great stop on the play. Still more pressure from the Soviet team. Right in front. The shot goes over top of the net. Blasted high by Fandol. Now for the United States. Picked up by Harkins. Back to the blue line. They take it inside. Irbay beside his own net handles it there. The U.S. puts the pressure on. Coming in is Nelson. He couldn't get a shot away. Larkin with a chance. Soviets come back, end to end they go. Here is the shot, deflected just wide. Almost fooled Erickson on that one. At center ice. Larkin goes down. No penalty call. A Soviet referee, two North American linesmen work the game.
That's what's interesting. It's a Soviet referee, and he's letting these players just go out and bang each other. And once again, I'll mention it, that it's clean, solid hitting thus far by the Americans. We now have an offside pass. Here's some of the hitting we were talking about as the Americans move across. Good, clean body check. Great hit on that play. I believe that was Breslin moving across. McEachran threw probably the best hit of the period so far. And also credit Erickson, Don, with a fine save. His first save was a breakaway.
Quick shot into a cluster of players. They'll drop the puck all over again just inside the USA blue line with 2.5 minutes gone in the opening period.
One thing we've noticed over the years is the fact that the Soviets have picked up their face-off work. Winning draws. It wasn't too long ago they very seldom would win a face-off once they came over to North America.
Chance now for the United States. Shot into the Soviet zone. U.S. digs it out. Here's a quick shot at it. Blocked by Irbay. Got a glove up as that puck was headed to the top left-hand corner.
The coaching staff for the Soviet Union have talked about Irbay's play this year. We all know how great of a goaltender he is, but he's had some problems concentrating. Not here, though. As the puck's moved in front, there's a quick release. Irbay will go down, yet keep his arms up high. And he's also very good with the goal stick. He won the gold medal in the Goodwill Games against the Americans using the goal stick in a shootout. Breakaways at the end of the game after a tie game. Irbay was great.
He's only 5'7", weighs 176 pounds, but he's been the hot goalie of the year for the USSR. Missed the puck in behind, tried to block it there as the Americans play it down. This is Tim Breslin battling forward in the corner for the United States. Now Sales in front. He gets some help from Jeff Naparella. They bang away. The Soviet official lets them go right on. Two North American linesmen, we told you. They still have a scrum going on in behind Irbay's net. Finally, the United States picks up the puck. Left in the corner there. For the Americans, Jim Dowd fails to center it out. Naparella gets it free, plays it around to the far side for Dowd in the corner. He's being watched by Zinoviev. Finally, the Soviets come away, so the United States did not get a shot in that sequence in and around the Soviet goal. Good sliding save there by David Tretowitz of the United States, blocking the Soviet drive from Onarak. Another chance. Eriksson with a save there. The rebound is in the net. Karch, number 6, put it home on the rebound for the team from Latvia.
Karch is one of the better puck-handling skilled players for this team from the Soviet Union, and he never stopped skating. It was a good save off the point shot from Chudanov. Good save by Eriksson, and you see Karch. See how he's still moving? Moves in, grabs the puck before anybody could check him, and scores on the rebound. Karch did not stand still. Here's Eriksson's view from the point shot, and the rebound was kicked out front instead of into the corner. 1-0 Soviet Union.
The Kakrin with Amati and Harkins on the ice now, and it's whistled down on the offside. With 4 minutes gone, the Soviets lead by a goal. Shudinov and Zanarnak got the assists on the goal by Alexander Karch, making it 1-0 at 3:52 of the opening period here in Orlando, Florida.
That gives Karch 5 points in 5 games during this tour of the United States playing against college teams. The Americans penned the Soviets in very well, but did not get a quality scoring chance. Once the Soviet team got out of their zone, didn't take them long to score.
And territorially, they are equal if not superior, but the Soviets get the better scoring opportunity.
Another big hit by McEachran, back in the corner to the left of Yerbay. Big body check on Grigoryev, and he was very slow in getting up. Here we see the the Americans standing up with a good body check at center ice by Mayer.
And Bandul, still doubled over very slowly, makes his way across to the Dinamo bench. That's a player the Soviet team can ill afford to lose tonight. Vyacheslav Bandul, speedy center, been with this team since '88.
And his right winger is also a quality player in Belyavsky. Remember, the Soviets play in units of 5. The 3 forwards and the 2 defensemen play together as a unit. Here we have a penalty.
Interference, the indication, the first penalty of the night, the Soviet referee Anatoly Yegorov. And the Americans will be a man short.
Jim Maher gets a penalty. You'll see on the near side, they call it interference. He moves in and takes the body. He continues taking the body well after the puck had left the area. So the Soviets get the first power play. They're 3 for 18 during this trip to the United States, 16.6% efficient.
Well, they will hope to improve that power play percentage here. With about 4.5 minutes gone in the opening period, Soviets ahead by a goal. And waiting for a new hockey stick at the United States bench is Tony Amante. Has got one now. We're set to go.
What the Americans do is keep Amante and McEachran, who play on the same line, as a pair to kill penalties. And that makes a lot of sense when this team really doesn't know each other very well.
Well, that's a point that the coach made earlier today, Mike Surdich. We asked who are your penalty killers and your various combinations and power plays. He said, we'll just have to see as we go along. He tried to keep players from the same teams together as pairs or partners on lines as much as he could. So it's experimentation time. The Soviets here at the blue line, regrouping now with Zinoviev bringing it in. And checks smartly at the blue line. The United States doing an effective job of killing off this penalty so far. Soviets still so dangerous. Karch playing it in front, nobody home, and is slapped down the ice by the USA.
You know, that pass by Karch, I think he thought it was a teammate he was passing to. These teams, Don, in all sincerity, wearing white, it's very difficult to make quick plays to find a teammate in the quick passing
Good
plays.
point. At a glance, you look up and expect to see an opposing color, and it's not your own. So the Americans now slapping it around the boards. Rod Taylor fails to clear. Soviets get a chance. Again, a centering pass. Nobody there. Golfed down the ice by Chris Nelson.
Chris Nelson moved quickly to take the body and force the Soviets into the bad pass.
Both teams changing on the go now. It is a hot and warm, humid night here in Orlando, so they'll change perhaps a little more frequently. Less than a minute to go, as you saw, in the American penalty to Maher. Again, the Americans keeping the puck for the most part in the neutral zone as they try to kill the Sevens. Almost a steal in there. A little too far for Leclerc to reach the blue line. He almost stole the puck. Soviets now bring it back inside again. Matitsin is bumped along the boards. They converge in there. Sasarsky, the defenseman from Princeton, gets into the play. Then a far side pass to a helmetless Soviet player. Matitsin down the near boards. Soviets putting some good pressure on now. They whip the puck around on the power play advantage. Back to the point. Fandul is all right. He's back on the ice. Takes the pass. Fakes the shot. Plays it beside the goal. They still haven't gotten the shot away. And the Americans break it up, killing off 4 times. Just 5 seconds to go. And the Americans have indeed killed the first penalty of the night. One more chance for the Soviets. Matitsin's shot made the pass on the rebound. Still loose in front. The Americans can't find the bouncing puck. Now they do, and they clear the zone.
Now, that last save was a good example of how Eriksson plays goal. He's a good stand-up angles goaltender, and he simply took away the angle on the short side and let the puck hit him.
Well, Polsky couldn't get organized inside the American blue line. Has it back now inside his own line as they backtrack all the further. Harry Vito Lynch, a Montreal Canadiens draft choice, plays it ahead now for the USSR. Met by 4 American defenders, though, at the blue line and turned away again. Alexander Alexiev with it. Alexiev for Berezhnev. He can't get organized. The Americans break out. Naparella with it on the right wing makes the centering pass, and it's intercepted by the USSR. Puck still loose in there. Americans swarming on top of the play, trying to keep the pressure on the USSR. Nelson in the corner, leaves it for Naparella. Naparella is bodied and held against the backboards. They try to pin it for a face-off, and they get one with 12:18 to go.
Jim Dowd, who nearly made the steal for the good scoring chance, involved here, a little pushing and shoving. Dowd, a fine offensive player. New Jersey Devils have drafted him out of Lake Superior State. Dowd plays on a line with Napieriola and Breslin, all 3 out of Lake Superior State, so the coaching staff smartly keeping that line together. Now we have the changes. They have McEachern, Amante, and Harkins to try and lead the Americans back. They trail by 1 goal.
And there are the shots on goal. 4-3 Soviet Union. Mahar from Illinois and Nelson from Wisconsin are back at the blue line for the United States now as the puck is back in the American zone. Smartly kept in left point for the Soviet Union. Try to work it in front. Try to get it back to the point man. U.S. doing some nice checking in there. That is Mahar with it back on the ice, makes the check. McEachern waits for the pass, digs it out, and fires it across the ice to Harkins. Too far for him at the Soviet blue line. Back at center ice now. Matitsin can't keep it for the USSR. Amate got all tied up as he reached the blue line, and it's back to the neutral zone as we approach the halfway mark of the first period. 1-0 for the USSR. Here is the pass to Pavlov, right wing pass, and off the stick of the goaltender Chad Eriksson from Minnesota Duluth, and back down the ice it goes. Golbas Kaklats for the Soviet Union, lost the puck, hard slap shot by Jay Moore, just floats wide. 4-3 shots on goal favoring the Soviet Union.
The Americans are continuing to force here. Harkins moved in, forced the turnover. So far the Americans, once they've created turnovers, are not hitting the net on Yerbay with their shots.
Left for Karchin behind the goal. Brought forward by the Soviet player Zanafiev as it rolls inside the United States blue line. Zanarek with the puck circles the American goal. Stopping on the near boards, back to his point man. The slap shot goes wide from Zanafiev. Good check. Soviet player picks up the slack, though, comes over to the near boards. The Americans get a chance to clear. Taylor takes his time, makes the right wing pass, and he digs it out for Snedden. Snedden at the blue line, went over and back, and it's called right there by the linesman, Belmont. So it's 1-0 for the USSR, almost midway in period 1.
Here's a good example of the board work we've been talking about. The Americans taking the body strongly and making sure the puck stays on the boards and then out of the zone. McEachern is one of the forwards, working and working. 3 Americans, 3 Soviets. The puck is pushed out over the blue line. Good attacking board work.
John LeClaire from Vermont centering the line for the United States now, along with Larkin and Ronan, who's a real digger according to his coach, Mike Surdich. Soviets putting more pressure on the United States. In the corner, David Trenowitz from Clarkson University has it around on the near board. Soviets maintain the pressure inside the line. Work it up to the point. LeClaire jams it free to center ice and backhands it down the ice. United States in pursuit. It is Ronan chasing the puck. Can't get a stick on it. Comes around to the near side now of the Soviet zone, and they'll endeavor to clear, and they do. Get it out to the neutral zone. Fanul with it. Left wing pass, rink wide. setting his man up with a backhand shot. No, he's hammered by the goaltender, Eriksson, as he goes in beside the net. Took quite a shot.
DeVita came back smartly too, Don, and cut him off as he was heading to the net. Cut him off with a real good check.
Newell leading it in there. The shot directly on. Lost for a moment. U.S. comes in to smother it back now at the doorstep of Eriksson, who does drop on the puck.
Van Duel had the puck in the neutral zone with a sharp pass, set up the scoring chance, and Eriksson smartly covered it up. First team All-American last year at the University of Minnesota Duluth. Chad Eriksson in goal here, 5'10", 170 pounds. They say when it's time to play well in money games, he's very good. Here's that pass. Van Duel with one long cross-ice pass. Now watch DeVita come across and take out the Soviet winger cruising to the net. That Van Duel passes it well.
And Eriksson got his licks in too, as you saw. For the Americans now is Jim Maher from Illinois battling. He's been everywhere defensively for the United States. Very strong, working there with Chris Nelson as they bump and body the Soviets in behind and finally win possession of the puck. Comes out to Breslin near boards, and he ricochets and relays it down the ice. 9:12 to go now, the first period. The only goal of the game from the Soviet Union for a 1-0 lead. Nelson, they try to headman the puck. They dig it ahead almost to Naparella, but they couldn't get it to him at center ice. Americans try to open the play up a little more now, and they'll come forward, utilizing that speed, certainly in the neutral zone. Flipped out inside the Soviet blue line. Breslin chasing it in there in the corner. Out in front was Naparella. They couldn't get the pass to him. He was wide open, so instead, they'll bump and battle in behind. Breslin going down. Gets some help now as they play it on the near boards in the Soviet zone. Andy Cesarski from Princeton with it. Can't keep it in on the point. Back to the American end of the ice. 8.5 minutes to go in the period. Teams changing on the go. Not too many whistles here. They've got to do that predominantly. Centered in front, a great chance there. And oh, the rebound. Tremendous scoring chance by Harkins on the rebound after a shot by Amati, and they're kept at bay by Arthur Irbay.
Irbay's best saves of the period, and that all comes out of good forechecking by the Americans. The board work has been good.
Now the Soviets right back in, getting a chance. Here's the pass to Pavlov in the slot. Couldn't get his shot away. Centered. Eriksson almost put down on him. McEachran picks it up. Fails to clear the zone. Amati brings it forward now. And behind him with the puck is Harkins. Harkins shoots it inside the Soviet blue line. Americans changing once again, keeping the shifts to a 35 or 40-second maximum. 7:45 to go in the period. Back it comes to the neutral zone. Soviets almost got a break. Fedorowicz recovers for the United States. Then Pavlov keeps it in there. Pavlov getting it back to Kandaveyev. Here's a shot right on, and Eriksson has control of that.
Sayez with a big shot. It was a turnover in the American zone, and the Soviets with one quick pass found the defenseman open. And Sayez had a good shot at Eriksson, who's held the rebound smartly. There you see how open that defenseman is, but a clear line of view by the goaltender Eriksson. Not only did he make the save, but he held on. Watch Amante move in front here. Two good scoring chances by the American. The first one by Amante. There's Harkins moving in, and there's a specific style that Irbay uses. He gets down to the knees, but covers a lot of net.
What a glorious rebound to Harkins. He could smell goal, but denied by Arthur Irbay. 7:25 to go in the period. 1-0 Soviets. Off Taylor's shoulder, the puck goes down the ice. Icing is waved off. Back to collect it for the Soviet Union, Dmitry Zinoviev. Whistle down in the center ice zone for a face-off. At 7:15 to go in the period. Good action, typical action. Skating predominates between the Soviets and the Americans.
Now this will be a two-game series in 2 nights. Lots of quick pace in very humid weather. And Don, what the Americans are doing is they have a trainer on the bench who's timing their shifts. And they will go approximately 40 seconds and then get yelled at to get off the ice and make the change. On the left is the head coach, Grabowski, who took a 2-year hiatus from this team and coached in Bulgaria, of all places.
Jay Moore is centering Snedden and Taylor on the ice for the United States now, but Karch has it for the Soviets, stopping at the top of the face-off circle in the American zone. Now backpedaled. Makes the pass there, leaves it there for Zanarak. Zanarak circles the net, drops it in front, and hands it right to Dennis Snedden, and it's cleared from the zone. Soviet number 13, Evgeny Samariak with it. Gets it across to Zanarak into the zone. Behind his goal is Eriksson to clear. Play a little sloppy at this stage. The Soviet rudely upended there. Number 13 hits the ice, Samariak. No penalty call from the Soviet official across the ice. He's the man in charge, the referee. Loose puck still inside the American blue line. Backhand shot. Eriksson couldn't find it. It sails wide on the rebound.
Oh, boy.
Now there'll be a penalty called.
Yeah, and I think it's on the Soviets, number 11. Narak, boy, he put his stick right over top of one of the backs or the heads of one of the defensemen in front. Taylor was banging and he drew a penalty. Watch Samarak go down here as DeVita throws the check into him. Much stronger player, and that started the rough stuff during this shift. And in front, this is Narak. You'll see his stick go right back over top of one of the American players. I believe that was DeVita. So the Americans get the power play.
Oleg Sinarak at 13:42 gets the high sticking call, so the Americans with the power play opportunity and a chance to tie this game.
Interesting, the opponents going against this Riga team, 6 for 21 on the power play, nearly 30% efficient, which is a very high number. And the Americans, in watching this game develop, Don, their power play has got to go to work for them. Try and win this thing.
That was the top line, centered by McEachern, almost got it across to Amati. Harkins, the other attacker, and the two defenders are Mahar and Nelson. Long lead pass to the Soviets. They'll try to score in your shorthanded, certainly if they can, but Tietzen drops it inside the line. The puck just stopped there, and Valyevsky couldn't get to it. Here's Amati being sent in. Amati shooting, and a great glove save. The rebound, he missed and fanned on a chance waist high. But Urbe there to be a hero for the Soviets once again in goal. And they clear.
Urbe is so calm in there. He gave some room to Amante over to the catching glove side. Amante went to shoot it. Urbe was there waiting for it.
Here's Amati again making the pass. Couldn't find McEachern with him. 8 shots apiece so far with about 5:25 to go in the first period. 1-0 for the team from Latvia, Dinamo Riga. Americans changing on the go. Wide angle shot from Cesarski is blocked. Near boards. Naparella keeps it in play. He sends Breslin down to the corner. Breslin tries to center, dumps it back in the corner instead. Down for the United States. Trying to make the proper play now as time ticks away in the Soviet penalty. Here's the centering pass, and a great scoring chance out there tonight. Sakarski couldn't put it away. Dowd with a shot. Sakarski back on the point, waits for the puck. Soviets killing valuable time here as they rag it along the boards. They take 4 seconds off the clock. Finally, the Americans with it. Here's this pass right in front. Loose puck bouncing free, and the Soviets clear it down the ice.
The power play worked well, Don. Good puck movement, a couple of quality scoring chances. The Yerbe, who looks like he plays goal in a rocking chair, totally relaxed back there, making the saves.
They have killed the penalty. Back at full strength now, about 4 minutes to go in the opening period. Pavlov for the Soviets brings it down the boards. He is bumped there. Puck taken away by John DeClaire. Right in front, it's left there, and Eriksson quickly has to pounce on it. It remains 1-0 with about 4 to play in Orlando. Game 1, the Soviets and the United States. Pavlov on the draw against John DeClaire. Soviets win it. Shot will fly into the spectators in behind Eriksson with 3:58 to go in the opening period. This arena is the home of the Orlando Magic, the very popular expansion team in the National Basketball Association.
I think it will be the home for maybe a season with the new Tampa franchise that Phil Esposito has moved to Florida.
Announced today it'll be home, John, of the NBA All-Star Game,
yeah.
92 as well. Here come the Soviets down the left side again with a chance. Eriksson came up and cut the angle down and got away with it against Siplikov, who couldn't get a good shot off on him. Or the United States now. It is LeClaire being tied up at center. Fedorowicz can't get to it. Soviets almost got a break in there, but Ed Ronan is there to block that attempt.
Siplikov was driving to the net. The defensemen have done a nice job cutting those players off before the quality shot. As you look at the head coach, Mike Surdich, we were talking to him today, and we talked to him about all the years he's coached at the University of Minnesota Duluth. Who were his best players? The first name out of his mouth, Brett Hull. Then he mentioned Tom Curvers, Kurt Giles, Bob Mason, Jim Johnson. Some quality players that have played under Mike Surdich.
People tend to forget those schools that some of these superstars played at. Here is a Amati's shot now, and Urbe just held his ground against him.
It's the third good quality scoring chance Amonte's had this period.
He is everywhere, kept it in play there, but nobody to help him out. Has the puck once again. A busy number 11 for the United States. Shooting it down, in behind the net. Parkins can't get to it. Irbe leaves it for his defense player.
John Amonte's a right winger, ends up on the left side for most of his scoring chances. And you see that a lot because players want to get away from their check. So they move across ice to find some open ice.
Maher with it down the near boards for the United States. Can't control the puck. Chris Nelson from Wisconsin, the defenseman at center ice. He'll play it back in, giving the Americans a chance to change. Soviets bring it back with Zanafia to the neutral zone. Fails to penetrate the American blue line. Hit by high stick and whistle down in the neutral zone.
You look at the referee, Yegorov. He's 49 years of age. He's been officiating for 30 years, and he's done everything big, including Olympics, including all kinds of major tournaments. He has not worked the Canada Cup, and that's one thing he'd like to look forward to. One of the 10 top referees in the Soviet Union is this man.
A southern flavor for the linesman. Jerry Dolmont from Clearwater, Florida. Doug Wilson from Atlanta, Georgia. All right, for the Soviet Union now, they make that one last pass that does not lead anywhere for them. Number 19, Dennis Stenton for the United States endeavors to clear as he jams it up the boards against stiff competition. Still battling in there with a couple of Soviets. Voloshenko for the Soviet Union joins the fray now and makes the clearing pass to get a shot away at least, but blocked by the defense. 2 minutes to go in the first period, 1-0 for the Soviet Union. And the Americans force it free outside the blue line. Here's a breakdown going in. The shot drifts wide from the stick of Jay Moore. In behind the net is Rod Taylor for the United States. Taylor now parks in front, waits for the centering pass, gets the backhand away, and he just steers it off the short side. Nets off the moorings. Play goes right on until now. It is whistled down by Yegorov.
Well, a good shift, especially by Moore, who stole the puck off of Van Duel, moved up ice, but missed the net again.
Some great hockey here tonight in Orlando. Hope you're enjoying it wherever you might be across the country this evening. It's a 2-game total goal series, by the way. The play does not end tonight. It'll be decided finally tomorrow night right here in the same arena. Redowitz for the United States steers it across the ice now to partner David DeVita, and the defenseman shoots it inside the Soviet blue line, at least momentarily. Kept in there now. They try to feed Naparella with it. Can't get it to him, and they whistle it down for an offside at the blue line. A minute 26 to go in the first period.
What we've seen so far is you look at Jim Dowd from Bricktown, New Jersey. He set 5 national scoring records at Brick, New Jersey High School. Scored 98 points one year there. And he wants, period, to be a hockey player. Lou Lamoriello, who runs the New Jersey Devils, really speaks highly about Dowd's ability to see all the players on the ice, Don, and make the fine passing plays.
Peter Lynch for the Soviets playing it to the American corner and quickly shot back out again by the United States. This American team can break very quickly, as we have seen, looking for the pass now at the blue line that is turned back with just a minute to play in the opening period.
1 minute to go, period. 1 minute.
David Trudowitz, rink wide. The relay to the Soviet blue line, skips past the defender there and then goes into the corner. Naparella gives pursuit, then he's taken down in the corner, and the Soviets clear the zone. Jim Mahar for the United States to the Soviet corner as they will both change on the fly now with 40 seconds to go in the stanza. Cleared carefully. Mahar at the blue line fails to keep it there for the USSR. Siplikov goes in the left side, drops it behind him, and the pass drifts into the near corner. This is Grigory Pantaleyev. He leaves it in there for Grigoriev. Grigoriev back to the blue line. It's off a skate and out of the zone with 17 seconds to go. Soviets looking for a fast break, one insurance goal before the period ends. Pavlov brings it in and hopes of that. Goes too far. Taken in behind by Maher. Maher riding him all the way around to the far corner. 3 seconds remaining now, and that's going to do it for the opening period here in Orlando. As the United States, step for step, every bit with the Soviet touring team. Shots on goal, in fact, did favor the United States. They outshot the Soviets 11-10, and this man is the difference in the game.
Oh, I think Yerbe really forced the Americans to shoot wide on a lot of the shots. The ones they hit the net with, he was very strong, and the Americans made the Soviets pay for any of the scoring chances that they had.
1-0, 1 period gone. Good hockey from Orlando, Florida. Its lead And the Soviet team dressed in blue. That's the Latvian traditional color for this team.
It's interesting in talking to the Soviets, and some of them do speak English. They want it noted that they are from Latvia, and that someday they hope to represent Latvia in the Olympics. They said socialism is great, communism is gone. And they speak openly about it right now. It's amazing how quickly times change.
If you look at Erickson, the junior from the University of Minnesota Duluth, the atmosphere has to be more conducive to comfort for the Soviet team. I know they're very uneasy in the Cold War days, but now that things have changed dramatically, these are just athletes here to show what they can do on the ice and enjoying themselves much more in the bargain.
The Americans, too, here to show what they can do. Dave Peterson, who will be the head coach of the 92 American Olympic ice hockey team, is here and watching. He met with these players yesterday and talked to them and said he will rate them throughout this two-game series and see how they make out. A lot of kids there would love to represent their country in the upcoming Olympics.
McEachran won the face-off against Zanarok. Shot it to the Soviet zone, returned down the ice. Long shot right on Chad Erickson. United States in the white with the red. The Soviets the white with the blue. Soviets now forced to play around in behind the United States goal. Here's DeVita making a good stop. Long shot to the point. Rebound. Soviet player might have just sailed in with Erickson over at the other side of the net, but waited to make the pass instead as they buzz around the United States zone. This is deflected from the stick of Zinoviev high on top of the United States goal. McEachran gets it up the boards now for Harkins. And across to Amate. The dangerous Amate hits the blue line. Digs it back to McEachran. McEachran has it bounced too high and behind the net. They feed Amate down McEachran beside the goal. The centering pass is knocked down and picked up by number 11, Oleg Zarnak for the Soviet Union. Gets it across to Semryak. Semryak being watched by Mahar. Now makes his centering pass, and it drifts back to the far boards, and the United States brings it to the neutral zone. Puck loose at center ice. Naparella couldn't get his stick on it. Blue line to blue line they go in the second minute of play of the second period. Play is whistled down now. There's a player down at the bench, the penalty bench.
Van Duel, for the second time, draws a penalty, and for the second time stays down after he's hit. Nelson, the defenseman, hit him back behind the play, and the Soviets will come back with a power play. A few boos from the fans. This is called slashing on Nelson. He interfered. Van Duel went down, drew the penalty, and I think Nelson may have gotten a misconduct on top of it. I saw the signal from the referee. Not 100% sure if it was handed out, but Van Duel twice has drawn penalties by diving, and it's working.
I'm not sure if he's competing for a spot on the Soviet Olympic hockey team or the Olympic diving team. He's made two noble attempts tonight that have succeeded in getting a power play.
And here he stays on the ice to take the face-off to help lead this Soviet power play.
Marvelous recuperative powers as well.
Now
that's the European style. They've been doing that for years, effectively. Belyevsky, the dangerous right winger, is on the power play now for the Soviet Union. Both teams scoreless in power plays. There's your shot. Erickson makes the save. The United States recovers, and it is cleared by number 23, Tim Breslin, back to center ice. Naparella with it. Naparella trying to close in, being warded off by number 29, Matitsin, effectively. Naparella's got no help. His teammates are all back outside the blue line defending against the power play. He simply kills some time inside the Soviet zone. Good forechecking pays off as Naparella again comes in on the Soviet player Belyevsky. He gives it up to Van Duel. Back on the left side to Grigoriev. Relayed behind the United States goal. We're 2 minutes into the period. The Soviets enjoying a power play. Grigoriev from the left point accepts the pass back, fakes the shot, plays it down, top of the face-off circle left side. Turned back into the corner by Opolsky. They try to center it out now, taking plenty of time, the Soviets are, with 47 seconds to go on the power play, and it's shot down the ice. A near break for the United States, Dennis Snedden. Again, held at bay as the U.S. forms a wall outside their own blue line to greet the attackers coming in. In they come nonetheless, though. Shot is blocked, picked up, and cleared down the ice. Very smartly by Snedden.
John Gorman with a real good block of the shot. And we now have a stoppage. Perhaps too many men on the ice. No, there's a Soviet player in front of the American bench, and the Soviet player gets caught for the penalty. I believe that's Matitsin. Each team will get penalties, both slashing calls.
USA, number 19.
Andre Matitza, and that's another slashing call offsetting the previous penalty against the United States.
29.
So if all things remain equal, the U.S. will go on the power play when their penalty expires.
I think both teams, yes, Sneddon got a penalty too, Don, so...
All right, that offsets that.
It'll remain a power play for the Dinamo Riga team.
Catch now at the blue line for the Soviet Union. Steered by Zarnak into the zone. Fighting him off is Tredowitz for the United States. They try the near boards to clear and succeed. Chase is on. In pursuit is Zinoviev. Here is Chudinov. Defenseman coming down the right side. Warded off by Tredowitz of the United States again effectively, and they clear the zone one more time.
Now, the American coaching staff felt that their forwards had lots of speed, and we're seeing the speed in this game. They also felt the defense may lack some speed. But so far, the American defense has not been beaten to the outside. They've played it rather smartly, and they've been very strong in pushing the Soviet players off the puck.
First penalties expired, so they're at full strength now with the Soviet Union. Just the two offsetting slashing penalties remain in the penalty box. About 4 minutes into the second period, 1-0 for the USSR. Here's a chance now for Zanarak, coming in with a pass, couldn't get it across to his teammate standing in front, Evgeny Semyarak, and the United States, Amati comes away with it down the right board. Big Amati inside the line, setting for the shot, lets it go, and is blocked in front by the sliding defense player. But still in the Soviet zone. Chudinov made the big play there for the USSR. For the United States, now Chris Nelson lobs it in, deflected almost on the net. Dmitry Zinoviev for the Soviet Union. As they go back with help from Chudinov now to play it around the near boards and out to the central neutral zone it comes. Zanarnak eludes a check from McEachran. Chudinov takes it back into his corner. Almost had it intercepted in there, but does get it out to Harry Vito Lynch. One of the young players drafted by the National Hockey League, the Montreal Canadiens, on his right.
Yeah, that sounded funny when you called him Harry. That's his first name. That's a little different, isn't it?
Probably Harry to be correct in terms of pronunciation, with 5 minutes gone on the period. Still 1-0, just that goal about 4 minutes into the opening period, the difference in the hockey game. But both these teams give you the feeling they can put some goals in the net and run up the score in a hurry if they get a break here or there. But good goaltending both ends has prevented that. In the neutral zone, they battle for it. Tim Breslin trying to control the play. Soviets win this battle now and bring it ahead. Delayed penalty in behind. Could have been a hooky call in there, or a high sticking call against the United States of the Soviet player approaching the blue line. So the USSR will have the power play advantage once again.
Jim Dowd gets the penalty as he's hooking up high over the shoulders, and you see his stick sliding up there, and that's why the referee decided to make the call. So the Soviets go on another power play here, the second in the second period.
You don't mind seeing a penalty like that call when a stick gets that high up around a player's face. So the face-off outside the blue line with 5 minutes and 25 seconds gone on the period. Soviets with a chance, the power play, to add to their lead. Power plays have not been effective for either team so far tonight, however. The United States has done a good job of staying with the attackers inside their zone. They bring it out here again smartly. Gorman let it slide down the ice. Naparella, the chief forechecker for Team USA, is the lone man up front. Soviets now quickly inside the line. Skating around Tredowitz, the shot is forced wide. U.S. has it, and here's number 17, Naparella watching as Breslin brings it to the blue line and simply lets a long shot go in on airbay.
Naparella and Breslin, a terrific job as a pair in the second period, killing penalties, very aggressive. Good speed in the neutral zone, reading plays, and playing well as a pair.
They do this also together at Lake Superior State, so they're familiar with this penalty-killing situation, doing a very fine job, as you say. And now number 16 pokes it ahead, Jay Moore. Dennis Sneddon with it. They've negated the Soviet power play almost completely.
You're seeing good speed, quick players make for good penalty killers, and the speed of the American forwards doing a good job.
Tietzen brought it inside the line, and Moore's there to shoot it out off the referee. Finally, play is whistled down.
It hit the referee, went back into the American zone, so the linesman quickly stopped the play, which is a proper call.
Now this team from Latvia plays in the Soviet Elite League. And the best-known player they have produced that North Americans may know is Helmut Valderas. He's a prolific scorer back in the 80s with the Soviet team. Took a run at the National Hockey League late in his career. Didn't have much left to offer.
With Minnesota, I understand he's now teaching school and coaching in Minnesota. Coaching, that is, in Minnesota. A bunch of young kids. Helmut Valderas and Arturs Irbe, the two big players that have been developed by this Dinamo Riga team over the years.
They have more in the making here. Almost a chance for the United States there in front. Nelson got his stick on it. Couldn't control the bouncing puck. And we are into the final 30 seconds of the Soviet power play, which hasn't amounted to a whole lot. Good American forechecking. The digger Ronan there puts a check on a Soviet player, delays his emergence. Now Blackhoff brings it in the blue line, and that is called offside. Pavlov in with it ahead of the play with 12:51 to go in the period.
There's been so far, with 15 seconds remaining on the power play, just one angle shot that Chad Erickson had to work with, as the Americans, led by Mike Srdich, have shown no respect whatsoever for the power play of the Soviets. And he watched the Goodwill games last summer, saw the Americans' success as they were one goal, about 25 seconds away from winning the gold medal. They ended up losing in the shootout. He saw the Americans play very aggressive, Don, and he saw some aggressive play by some of the universities so far this season against this team. So he wants aggressiveness here.
Samariak gets it back to shoot it off on the point. That shot did not penetrate the defense. Here comes the penalized player Dowd back on it. Look to headman the puck to him. Get it to him over on the far side against Chutinov. Makes his pass in there. Couldn't quite get it on the stick of his teammate Naparella. But the United States now puts the heat on. Naparella wheeling on the far boards for the United States. Digs it down in behind again for Breslin. Looking to center it in front. Soviets coming up with it, however, and they quickly will bring it ahead with 12 minutes to go in period 2. Still 1-0 for the Soviet Union. Taken away quickly from Alexander Karchin. 2-on-2. The U.S. comes inside the line. Nelson with it. His shot drifts wide. Harkins over on the far boards. Leaves it there. Leclerc in pursuit and behind the net. Amati is in front. Here's the backhand drive. Rebound down, and holding on is Artur Irbe.
It was Predowitz, I believe, who went in for the shot. He's been paired here with Nelson. Nelson's probably the best skating offensive defenseman for this American team. Watch Predowitz move in, and watch the Soviets let Predowitz have the shot and take the men in front. It's a bad angle shot, and Irbe, who drops down to the knees a lot, makes the save. Predowitz with a smart play to the outside. You know, here's the Americans working the puck back, and here's Predowitz moving in. And you see people in front, but they're covered. So it's a one-on-one. Predowitz and the goaltender wins again.
Predowitz, the defenseman from Tucson University, almost tied this hockey game. Even in shots on goal, and officially at 13 apiece as play resumes in the Soviet zone. Loose puck in there. Leclerc in pursuit of it. Gets tied up at the Soviet player. And that'll be whistled out as they get into a fencing match over the far side. Number 20, Harry Vito Lynch, against the American player Jim Leclerc.
And they both will get minor penalties as they go nose to nose. Fans loving it here with lots of intense action.
They'll cool off for 2. We'll be back much sooner than that. Stay with us from Orlando.
American centerman John Leclerc out of the University of Vermont loses his stick. So he continues to work over Vito Lynch. And the two of them battled. The referee gives them both 2 minutes. The teams will play even. Coincidental minors.
2 minutes for pushing is what it looked like. Nothing more than that. Face-off just on the Soviet side of center. 11.5 minutes to go in the second period. Still 1-0 for this team from Latvia. They are still early in a 3-week North American tour. Soviet player wants a new stick. In fact, he'll go to the bench. Oleg Zarnak, and he was an extra man on the ice, so now they will settle back with the proper number. The U.S. also having a mathematical problem over there.
Now they're not allowing late line changes. Nelson just stepped on the ice. Teams will play 4 aside, plus the goaltenders with the coincidental minors that were handed out. Nelson now moves out. Nelson's an interesting story, Don. He wants to be the first black player ever to play for the American team in the Olympics, and he's quite a talent. Raised in Los Angeles. playing at the University of Wisconsin.
Big, strong kid.
Good shape, 8% body fat. Likes to tell you, he's quite a character. Nice boy.
Manos couldn't get it for the Soviet Union. The sticks go high in the center ice area. Soviets deflecting it off the stick of Tomanis into the American zone. But the speedy United States team gets to it first, and they bring it right back at the ice. Moore, left wing pass coming over to Snedden. Down the boards in pursuit for the USSR, Leonid Berezhnev.
International rules. Pardon me, Don. International rules. If each team gets a minor penalty, you play a man short apiece. Different than what the National Hockey League has.
They stay in full strength, of course, when that happens. Offside of the blue line. Also, when the puck crosses the back red line, icing, it's automatic as soon as it crosses the line, rather than the NHL way of going back to touch it.
One thing the Soviets like when they get to come over and tour in North America is the chance to use quality hockey sticks. A lot of time players, when they play over in the Soviet Union, the sticks aren't as good and they're told just to take wrist shots. And there's a player now playing defense for Washington Capitals, Tatarinov, who has a great wrist shot, uses it a lot. He's so strong that when he was younger, he would break a lot of the sticks. So the coaches said, use the wrist shot. He still does. But these players love to get over here and use the new equipment.
There's aluminum sticks becoming part of this game more and more as the years go by as well. But here for the Soviet Union now, a 3-on-2 break as they bring it in. Here's a chance beside the net. Down is Eriksson. On the far side, he comes back to recover against the dangerous Belyavsky. Still inside the zone, though, as Belyavsky gets tied beside the net. Try to play it in front once again. Now approaching the halfway mark of the second period. Soviets buzzing all over the place, and now the Soviet official will call a penalty down on the U.S. corner.
McEachran will get the penalty, a hit from behind. Gorman earlier, the defenseman, Gorman saved a goal as the Soviets tried the wraparound. Sean Gorman moved across and saved one. Watch the hit here as McEachran moves in. Oh boy, the Soviet player turned his back just prior to the body check, and he gets up slowly. That's Belyavsky, who says he's the best kept secret in the Soviet Union at 26 years of age. Quite a character too. But he goes down and draws the penalty, and the Americans, with the aggressiveness here in the second period, the referee, who was quiet in the first period, has been more active in handing out penalties, and that may change the American style of play. They may have to.
So far they have gotten away with these penalties, but you know, with the Soviet potential for scoring, it's bound to catch up.
McEachran gets a penalty. It's a boarding call.
You don't see it that often.
No.
There it is, boarding.
What happened was the Soviet player, turned and faced the boards. And so McEachran got caught hitting from behind. It was a bang-bang play. The referee termed it a penalty.
Side bank down the ice to Arthur Irbay. Flawless so far tonight. Soviets now with the 4-man to 3 advantage up front, with the 2 other penalties still to be settled, the offsetting penalties. Just 3 defenders in front of Eriksson now as the Soviet team brings it forward. There's Nelson with it as they relay it back to center ice. Number 9 for the United States, Jim Dowd on the power play. Now the 2 previously penalized players come back on, so it's a 1-man power play advantage. 6 against 5. Down beside the United States net. A good check in there by Jim Mahar from Illinois. Crowd love that. Comes back to Zarafiov of the Soviet Union. Takes the pass back, lets the slap shot blast high on top of the net and overhead. In behind, Soviets try to jam it by the side of the goal. They got a brisk power play in motion right now. Number 7, Chudinov with it. Passing it down beside the goal again. Getting belted in front is Zarnak. Tries to hold its ground there. Soviets take their time, make the play, and shoot it wide once more. Number 5 is Zarafiov keeping it in play. Over on the far side, it is fed to Chudinov. He gets it back on the right point. Lays it down beside the face-off circle again. Beside the net they come. Try to jam it in front. Americans down to make the check. This is Jim Mahar in behind. He'll fall and force a whistle.
They need a change. The Soviets put the pressure on. Nelson and Mahar with a great deal of work in front of their goal. There you see Mahar getting up, and he's tired, and he should be. What action in front. Nelson, his partner, both battled. Look at the people hitting. There's a great hit by Mahar in front. You see the Soviets during this power play, Don, the majority of the time kept the puck down below the circles, but in front of the nets, it was nasty. the Americans made the Soviets pay to try and set up the scoring chance. And that's just exactly what you want when you have penalty killing in front of your own goal. Be mean and nasty, and they were.
From the face-off, David DeVita back in the American corner. Down the ice it goes. Taylor clearing for the United States. Just 20 seconds left now in the Soviet power play. Time for one more thrust as they bring it inside the American line. Back on the blue line for Andrei Matitsin to handle. For 21, Konstantin Grigoriev on the other point now as they will play catch back and forth. Take their time inside the line. Grigoriev with it. Back to Matitsin. His shot slaps it wide. Time now expiring. The United States gets the man into the penalty box, but they score. They scored just as the penalty had expired to make it 2-0.
Van Duel will get credit, and his shot was partially missed. He almost banged on the puck, and it squirted through the legs of Chad Erickson. It's an even strength goal. Great penalty killing, even though the pressure was on the Americans. And you'll see Van Duel here actually try to go high with the puck, fanned on it, and somehow it found a hole through the legs. Here's a nice pass from Belyavsky across quickly, and there's the puck squirting through the legs. So the Soviets get the big second goal here to lead 2-0. And Van Duel, who's been active drawing penalties, gets the score.
So there's that important second goal for the Soviets.
With assist from number 14, Sergei Voloshenko, and number 29.
Voloshenko and Matitsin are given the assist of the play, but McEachran for the United States scores! John McEachran from Boston U.
Now they're loving it here in Orlando. A rolling puck. Gierbe goes down, and somehow the puck gets in behind him. The Amante, McEachran, Harkins line on the ice after the Soviets had scored, and quickly they get one back. McEachran, you saw the speed to the outside. You saw him just hit the net, and it found a way through the legs of the goaltender, Gierbe. Big goal, and the Americans are right back in this thing.
It's a 2-1 hockey game.
It's the speed that tells the story. McEachran, the turnover in the neutral zone. McEachran moves in. Taya Harkin forced the turnover near center ice, and McEachran showed the great speed to the outside just to get the shot. And this line comes back quickly to score.
There's number 22, Brent Harkins from Bowling Green. Boy, he is a long-distance playmaker.
Now, he gets to the puck. He makes plays. He reads plays and gets to people, bangs them, and creates turnovers. That was a nice play once again by Harkins. He's been very good in this one.
We have an offside whistle to the Soviet blue line. New life now in the United States team. They did not sag very long, if at all, after the second Soviet goal, coming right back to cut the lead to 1 again. John McEachran, the man with a goal.
He's always had great offensive skills, but this year they're talking about McEachran's ability to play the other end of the ice. His coach, Jack Parker, loves the fact that he's now become a complete player.
Play in the United States zone. McEachran there again, leaves it for a teammate. From behind his net is Chris Nelson. Tries to clear the right side, left side, gets it up to the center ice zone, back to the Soviet blue line. Soviets backpedaling now to get something organized. U.S. forechecking at the Soviet line. Number 27, Leonid Brezhnev. For Thomas now, across the line. He can't get the shot past the sliding defenseman Nelson. Nelson with a good check on him in the corner. Rod Taylor from Ferris State over in the far boards. Maher comes in to give him some help. Now Nelson down it again behind the net. Will use the boards and clear it down the ice. U.S. given new life by that goal. Taylor forcing it inside the line. Number 19, Snedden in pursuit in behind the goal. Moore parks in front for the pass. Can't get it to him. Soviets come away with it. Oleg Zarnok. Down the boards for Van Duel. Tries to backhand a pass out in front. Number 11 shooting it across the goal mouth. Zanarok. Here's the shot. Erickson turns that back. It's in the corner again, but still in the United States zone. 6 minutes to go in the period. Now the referee will whistle it down. Anatoly Yegorov has got a penalty. He's fouled. Eye sticking once again.
Jay Moore from Edina, Minnesota gets caught with his stick up high right there on Samariak. So you can see why the referee made that call. Moore, who's been very aggressive, banging and hitting, got Samariak on the bench, having some problems after catching the stick up high. So the Soviets, who haven't scored a power play goal, but scored a goal just after their power play had expired, get another opportunity to make it a 2-goal lead.
All right, players are zoomed. About 6 minutes to go. Soviet power play is in motion once again as they look to widen their slender 2-1 lead. David DeVita battling for the United States behind the goal. Soviets wait to make that pass. So far, nobody in front. Now, 2 attackers drift out there. The puck is broken up. The United States gets a break here. It is a chance for Larkin, but 2 defenders caught up with him as he broke across the blue line. Here's Van Duel for the Soviet Union. Still loose in the U.S. zone. Golf right on Irbay.
It's great to watch Ed Ronan kill penalties. He's the guy that forced that bad pass to set up the partial breakaway by Larkin. Watching Ronan play, he just goes at the opposition players.
From Boston U, he seems to be everywhere, especially in shorthanded situations. Almost gave it back to the United States. Larkin wasn't looking for it, couldn't control it. Fredowitz defending in the corner, waiting for the Soviets to make their move and perhaps for the U.S. to get the interception. Soviets taking their time on the power play, passing it in front. There's the shot. It drifts wide. A frustrated Van Duel did not get good wood on that, or accuracy. Less than 5 minutes to go in period 2. 2-1 for the Soviet Union. Broken up in front for the United States. Ronan almost cleared the blue line. Soviets maintain possession, though. This is number 5 with it. Dmitry Zanafiev makes his pass left side. Now they center it out. Intercepted by the United States. Clear just over the blue line. Zanafiev has it ahead now for number 9, Belyavsky, inside the line. Soviets maintain control. Eriksson has seen enough. He wants a rest. He'll smother it and force a whistle right there.
Don, the Soviets on a power play will take the entire 2 minutes if needed to set up one particular play for a scoring chance, and the Americans haven't allowed it. The closest they came was a cross-crease pass that the American defenseman read. I mean, Eriksson could be tired. Now watch this. You'll see them move out and try the pass across. In front, you see the Soviets working. They're very patient, trying to set up the play. Excellent penalty killing. And there's Ed Ronan. Now he wears that shield that's fiberglass. When they have a stoppage here, he lifts it right up so he can try and get some fresh air and cool off somewhat. Some of the players wear wired cages, and they have a much easier time breathing, especially in this humid, hot air here.
Many of the Soviet players who wear neither have got the scars from high sticks to prove it tonight.
I shouldn't laugh, but that's hockey.
Yeah, unfortunately. 4:23 now to go in the period. Soviets maintain the pressure. Grigoriev from the point. Makes a pass across to Chudanov. That's the time left, 10 seconds in this power play. They'll have to get their shot away quickly. Chudanov, though, unaware of that, takes his time. Makes the pass, accepts another one. Fakes the shot. Back comes Moore. U.S. at full strength. Once he catches up inside the blue line, they're at even terms now. The Soviets maintain the puck and blasted wide. Chudanov did. Maher can't clear it. Now they get a chance, flipping ahead. Long lead pass ahead. It's a clean pass. Amati going in, went too far, then gets taken down in the high. A penalty will be called by the Soviet official.
Yerbey, the goaltender, moved out to take away Amante's shooting angle, so he faked the shot and went wide. He trapped the goaltender. All he had to do was wrap around the net and score, but he was hooked from behind. There you see the signal. So the Americans, after a fine display of penalty killing, will have their opportunity to tie this thing up now as they will go on the power play. The puck was rolling, and there's the fake shot. Now, Yerbey's way out, and he's down and gone. This little hook saved what could have been a wraparound goal by Tony Amante. We've seen McEachran's speed score a goal. We've seen Amante's speed draw a penalty here in the second period.
So it's 16-18. The Americans put their power play into motion, but for now have to backtrack and collect the puck. Cesarski, used infrequently in this second period from Princeton, tries to make the play, spearheads it again. Gorman, his defense partner, couldn't take the pass. The Soviets get it out of there. Great chance for the Americans to tie this game late in period 2 with 3:15 left now. Clear down the ice to Sarsky in pursuit. Eriksson holds it for him. Long lead pass is too far for Naparella. Sarsky ahead under some Soviet pressure now at center ice. The Americans not sustaining much in this instance will bring it forward once again now. Naparella down in the corner. Beat to the puck for the Soviet defender. They come up with it and quickly will clear the zone, bringing it forward.
The McEachran line was on the ice when they drew the penalty. The Dowd line here is having trouble getting offense going.
But here is Dowd now with a chance. Takes it in behind the net. Blast in front. Rebound, backhand, they score! David DeVita!
They say DeVita has a better than average shot. He moves in from the point on the power play, gets it done. Dowd at the end of his shift with a fine pass back to set up the original shot. And there you see DeVita not picked up at all. And that's 2 goals through the legs of Artur Girbay in this game. There's the original shot. Here comes DeVita, who used the backhand and beats Girbay through the legs. And we have a power play goal and a 2-2 score. Dowd and this line had not gotten anything going through about a minute 20 seconds of power play. But when they had their opportunity, after a good pass in from behind by Dowd, DeVita scored on the rebound.
17:28 is the time to tie it at 2 on the power play for the United States. So the Americans got down 1 goal, 2 goals, and have come back smartly with the last 2 goals of this period to tie it up. Soviets are far from done yet, though. They're swinging in front. Shot broken up by Samaryak. United States on a 3-on-2 break, couldn't execute it. Number 25, Ed Ronan. Over on the boards, makes the hit. In behind the net, Larkin carries on in there. Some wood chopping as they go around behind, and the Soviet referee whistles it down again.
I think we may have a retaliation penalty here against the Soviets, as there was some banging along the boards. Ed Ronan will move in, and actually Ed Ronan is getting a penalty. We'll see Ed Ronan move in along the boards here momentarily. There he comes, number 25, and he gets involved. And I thought the Soviet player with a slash was going to get the penalty on the retaliation. The referee saw it differently. Called the aggressor on the play.
Good old-fashioned slash by Ronan. We'll sit him down for 2.
2 minutes, roughing.
They call it roughing.
18 minutes, 4 seconds of the second period.
Something you don't want to do is change the momentum and give the USSR a chance to regain this lead before the period is up.
Now, the Americans have spent a lot of time killing penalties here in the second period, and that hurts some of the players on the bench, Don, that don't kill penalties. They don't get that much ice time. The Soviets have tried that one pass and shoot off the pass by their defensemen on the power play, and they haven't hit the net very much.
Tietzen brings it down the ice for them as once again the Soviets frustrated by their lack of proficiency on the power play. Grigoriev with it. They were 16% of this tour coming in, much lower than that right now, having been shut out tonight on the power play. Play beside the net, just cleared a time. Maher had trouble finding it. Now Nelson with it. Grigoriev, the defenseman, down in the corner to help out. Vanul passing it back to his defense player. Matitson accepts the pass back. Vanul with it. Back to Matitson, winding for the shot. Thinks better, makes the pass. Grigoriev falls. Now Matitson lets it go, and it's wide. Rebound in front. That shot wide on the net.
That's that shot I was talking about. He's had 2 shots from the point and hasn't hit the net yet.
Matitson, Faneuil, big number 9, the dangerous Belyavsky in there with him. Shot, and Eriksson makes a fine stop with the Soviet player, Belyavsky, right at his doorstep. 35 seconds to go in the period. Grigoriev back to his defense partner. They're blasting the shooting gallery, but it's wide all over the place here.
3 times Matitson has missed the net from the point. They're trying to set up a shot or a rebound to Belyavsky on the left side of the goaltender, Eriksson. He's in the corner, and then he moves out. But the Soviets not hitting the net at all.
27 seconds left in the period. Soviets maintain the power play advantage. Keep the same players on the ice. Oleg Zanarok is going to take the face-off. There's a couple of changes. The number 5 is out there. Zanafiov, who's got the pass, makes another one across to Chudinov, his defense partner. Newell is still on the ice. They get it to Chudinov. Over on the far side, it goes to Samariak. Here's the slap shot now. That is off target as well. They're bombarding Eriksson, but not with accuracy. 8 seconds to go. They dig in the corner. Soviets might have one more scoring chance left. No, they don't. Hops over a stick down the ice, and that'll do it for period 2.
The Americans can look at their penalty killing. It was excellent during that period. There was some pressure, and watching the Soviets skate off the ice, they're arguing amongst one another about their power play. The Americans' penalty killing excellent. The Americans scored a power play goal. I think that was a large story here in the second period. The specialty teams of this man's team.
He's got to be very happy. Mike Surdich, again, a team that was put together just 3 days ago, 2-a-day workouts, a skate this morning, and they've come on the ice and they have held this talented team from the Soviet Union even at 2 goals through 40 minutes of brisk hockey action here in Orlando, Florida tonight. It's game 1 of a 2-game total goal series, tied at 2 after 2. Set to go. The Soviet coach, he's got to be a little frustrated about that lack of output on the power play. Undoubtedly, Mr. Grabovski had words to say with his players in the locker room, but it's a tour to develop the Soviets toward their goal of the Olympics in 1992, as it is for many of these United States players. So the result of a poor period of the power play necessarily in itself isn't the end of the world, but it's a trend that has to concern a coach when he sees a team do this night after night. Coach Mike Surdich from the University of Minnesota at Duluth, his 9th year there, has done a marvelous job with that program, winning as coach in that school's history. And as we told you earlier, the likes of Brett Hull have passed his way at that school on their way to stardom in professional ranks. 2-2, the U.S. and the Soviets, they get it underway here in the final period. Eriksson solid in goal. Chad Eriksson from the University of Minnesota Duluth. Chudinov gets a shot away on him, just kept into the blue line, blocks it and kicks it about 10 rows high.
Eriksson showing real good feet with 2 saves to start this third period as everybody gets pushing and shoving. The first shot is a low shot that he kicks out, and then the second shot, another low shot that he kicks out with his right leg. And Eriksson went around traffic to get himself to be able to set up for that point shot, to play the angle well. As we see David DeVita having words. Eriksson is an angles goaltender. The coach, Mike Surdich, compared him to Mike Richter, who's now playing with the New York Rangers. Oh boy, is that some cross-check.
That was on Tredowitz, taking quite a shot there from the Soviet player. No penalty called. Teams remaining at full strength for a face-off just outside the American blue line.
This referee does most of his refereeing from the neutral zone, Don. The players are racing up and down. He pretty much goes from blue line to blue line.
Maher gets it across to Chris Nilsson. And watch carefully. Pass eludes Harkins. McEachran there. He's got the dangerous Tony Amati with him. Soviets bring it back up the ice now. This number 13, Samariak with it. Evgeny Samariak tries to flip it ahead to Zarnak. Can't get it to him. McEachran gets taken out of the play by Chudinov down the near board. Samariak, left side, brings it in. Shot sails high over the top. Another play.
Another point to make here as that puck was caught by one of the fans up high. He celebrates. Another point to make. The American defensemen have done a nice job either blocking the shot completely or deflecting that shot from the Soviet player into the stands or wide of the goal. If they don't get the job done, it becomes a screen shot moving through with Chad Eriksson. It's a high look, and you see the defenseman just backing in and then stopping, forcing the longer wrist shot. That puck was deflected high.
And Duel lost possession, far side. Sean Gorman from Princeton clears the zone. Working ahead now, bring it downside. They've got the long pass over here, and the relay just missed by Naparella. Got too far and got to stick out a little bit too late.
A great effort, though, just to get that shot.
Soviets now at 2-on-1. Great play there, but a sliding Sean Gorman. And that shot sails wide from Boldashenko. Goldovchenko, right boards, makes his pass, quick shot. That is off target from Bandul.
That's 4 low shots so far by the Soviets. They're challenging Eriksson. They're challenging his feet here in the third period.
Bandul, he's everywhere, getting an abundance of ice time. Makes the pass, that's broken up, couldn't find Matitsin. Jeff Naparella for the United States. 1-on-3, he's alone in there as they're changing in behind him. Takes the bump in the corner, gives the elbow back to the Soviet player Berezhnev. Again, no penalties called. Eriksson behind his own goal. Davida. Lutrenowitz in the corner. For Moore on the side boards. Broken up. Soviets maintain the pressure. They'll try the far side and clear that way. Touched, so no icing is called. I can't recall an icing call all night.
I don't think so.
Here's a hard shot. That sails wide.
That generally means it's been a pretty good hockey game.
Taylor's blast was blocked, and the Soviets shoot it back to the American corner. Having said that, we're going to have one. First one tonight, icing call against the USSR. Face-off in their zone, 2.5 minutes into period 3.
Here's the centerman Dowd on the puck. On the other side of the ice, the near side, Naparella is driving to the net, driving, and reaches out with one hand, gets the shot on goal. What an effort by Naparella just to get the shot out of Lake Superior State. On another fine pass from Dowd.
John LeClaire won the draw. Hard shot right on from Mahar. Right on goaltender Arthur Irbay. Hit him high in the chest. Larkin for LeClaire. Can't get it to him at the blue line. Soviets now. Play opens up a little bit. Have it on the left side. Siklakov over on the boards. He's taken down. Gets up. Play carries right on. Here's Nelson coming in to help. And the referee blows the whistle on that.
This is a call against John LeClaire. They call it boarding. Another power play coming up for the Soviet Union. We see the board work, and you'll see LeClaire, number 12, come in late, and they hit from behind once again, and this is what the referee's been calling. 2 boarding calls against the Americans in this game, both hits from behind. And it's something the Americans are going to have to watch for as this 2-game series moves along.
LeClaire came from Cape Canaveral to get his man. No question of that infraction, but it may cost the Americans. They must defend against this power play. You figure the Soviets are due to score one time tonight, given the 6th chance they've had now with a man advantage. Americans out shooting in 1917 in total to this point. Back to the point it comes now. Here's Chudinov down in the corner for Samariak, shooting across the ice. That blast goes wide. They bang it wide again, and it's deflected by McEachran. Lots of time left in this power play for the Soviet Union. Samariak with it, dropping it back to his point man Chudinov, across to the far side. That's turned aside smartly with a stick of Chad Eriksson. And the Americans clear.
Chudinov finally hitting the net. Earlier, he grazed the outside of the goalpost. Soviets, this Riga team trying to feed their point men for the power play shots.
Here's Narok with it, number 11, taking his time back to Zarnak. It comes to the top of the face-off circle. Cross ice pass, fake slap shot. Chudinov now backpedaling. They take plenty of time. Narok with it once again. Almost shot it out of his own zone. Americans simply in the box, protecting and waiting until they get possession now. They'll try to clear. Had a chance to, but they lost the opportunity. Gorman couldn't control the puck. Soviets win it back again. Here's a slap shot. That sails wide once more. Boy, they're off target tonight.
The Americans down low towards the goal. Their defensemen, penalty killing, are playing so good and so tough that the Soviets, this Riga team, have had to use their point men for the shots. There's been no plays down around the goal net of Chad Eriksson. Everything is closed there. Those players are just knocking the Soviets down, leaving no one open. So the Soviets are going back to their point men for shots, way back above the circle. And there's Eriksson taking away the low portion. Good job with the rebound, putting it in the corner. Real sharp. He's gotten sharper as this game has moved along. He's a very calm, collected goaltender. By the way, the face-off will go all the way down to Dinamo Riga's end because a Soviet player put the puck into the stands.
Another key face-off for the Americans. Mahar with it. Keeps it alive. Dowd falling on the play. It's taken away from him, and the Soviets will bring it out again. They try to headman the puck. They get it down into the corner to Opolsky, and it's brought back for a face-off. 0 for 8.
Wow.
The Soviets are the power play. The U.S. has cashed in and one of just 2 opportunities here. They bring it out again with McEachran, getting it across on the right side. Amati in the corner. Out there with Brett Harkins. This line has been very effective. They can explode on you. Tretowitz keeps it alive for them down into that Soviet corner again. Harkins. McEachran. Well, the Soviets, Berezev tries to come in and help out. Here it is out in front. Amati's turned around, couldn't get good wood on that, falling as he shot it. The Soviets clear the zone.
How did Amante get that off? He hasn't finished a lot in this game, but he's had a multitude of scoring chances because of second efforts. And goal scorers, they find a way to get second efforts.
Long rink-wide pass right side. That shot goes wide from Ilmars Tomanis. 9:20 to go. The third period tied at 2. Soviets, no wood on that for Ketlaps. Efas. They battle in behind for it. Tomanis comes in to try to pick it up for the Soviet Union. Dowd gets there first. Breslin for the United States, pushing it inside the Riga line. 8:50 to go in the third period. Still 2-2. Long lead pass flicks. Taken down smartly by Nelson is Gregory Pendeleyev, just as he's about to unload. Here's the shot. That's blocked and sent wide. Nelson makes a strict check of the corner, and the Soviet player got too fancy with the puck. Blocked the pass out. All around the net they go. They try to turn it around and sweep it in, and the Americans come up into a dive. In behind, 2 players tangled up on the far end, right in front of the referee, Yegorov, and there'll be penalties here.
It's Pendeleyev and Nelson. What a battle that was. The Soviets putting some of their best pressure on in the American zone, and you see Pendeleyev showing lots of strength as Nelson, the bigger player, really has to work him to knock him down. Finally gets him down. They became entangled and both ended up getting penalties. The Soviets, Pavlov, Pendeleyev, and Siplakov as a line, numbers 30, 28, and 12, with one of their best shifts in this entire game. There's Pendeleyev now getting to the penalty box. Excellent effort by that Soviet Union line.
This is well in behind the play. They have their own private wrestling match in the corner.
The puck is way up near the other end of the ice, and they continue to battle one-on-one. The referee let them go for a while, finally blew the whistle, and handed out penalties. We've seen Nelson skate well in this game, Don. He can play either forward or defense, and that's one of the reasons why you see him joining the play quite a bit. Here's the play behind the net as the Soviets move in front. Oh, pardon me, there's Amante. What a shot, what an effort as he was all tied up. McEachran and Harkins were in deep to feed Amante in the slot. Amante with great second effort just to get the shot was robbed again. It's got to be close to a half a dozen shots of the 24 that the Americans have been registered by Amante in this game, yet he hasn't scored.
Well, this United States team has indeed acquitted itself exceedingly well here tonight. Who would have expected this, as we say, just getting together, introduced for a couple of days, and they've done a marvelous job of the 2-2 tie, 8:15 to go third period. Offsetting penalties for attackers, plus the goalies on the ice at this juncture. For the team from Latvia, Narok with the number 11 lets the shot go. Turned aside to the stick of Eriksson. Dowd going after it. He's tackled from behind, held there by Zanafiov. Soviets keeping it in play. Narok with it. Narok's shot. Eriksson stick save again. Mahar up the board. Kept in with the Soviets. Narok gets around his defense player. Mahar lets the shot go. Rebound in front. Nobody can get wood on it.
Soviets' pace is quickening here in the third period, and Eriksson has been the difference. Fine goaltending. Narok with a good shot. You're seeing the Soviets pass a little sharper, and the pace is getting quicker as this game is moving along.
Right in by Karsh. He couldn't do anything with it. Broken up by Amante. McEachran trailing. McEachran now leading on the play. Amante falling and sliding a weak shot. Fanul. Again, Soviets, as you say, John, picking up the pace. Fanul's shot. That's blocked by Eriksson. Good save. And Bill tries to center it. It's bumped off the puck. Amante for the United States makes a picture play, and it just missed on the short side, relaying it across the ice to his defense player, Andy Cesarski.
Cesarski was wide open. He was on his backhand side, though. He's a left-hand shot. Amante will move into the offensive zone, stop and read the play. Now in front, there's Cesarski, but he couldn't quite get the shot. Cesarski joining the play, the defenseman joining the rush. It makes it a four-man rush. And that shot that pass just got away from Cesarski. It was a beautiful setup as Amante, towards the end of his shift, made the pass. And there you see the players lifting up those plastic visors, face masks, to get a little fresh air.
Clear the fog, defog them if they can. 6:52 to play in the third period. 2-2. USA got down by 1, then by 2, and has come back smartly to tie it in the second period. 23 saves for this young man tonight from the University of Minnesota at Duluth. He is a junior.
Well, they talk about him as a money goaltender, making the big saves at important times. He's made about 4 of them here in the third period. Face-off, by the way, outside because Cesarski pushed the net off the mooring.
Vladimir Sipnikov shoots it down behind the United States net. Pavlov goes to the near boards to find it in the corner, leaves it in there. Americans come away with it. David DeVita, he scored the tying goal in the game. He sends Ronan away on the right side. His shot drifts off target. Still in that Soviet zone. Ronan kicks it along the boards. Over on the far side, Larkin couldn't catch up with it. And the pass ahead, Soviets to the neutral zone, trying to headband the puck, get it inside for Pantaleoff, and he scores! It dribbles in!
Out of the penalty box, Pantaleoff moved out, and the Soviet speed is quickened here dramatically in the third period, and he just took off like a shot. And Eriksson nearly made the save. Pantaleoff will take this pass out of the penalty box, and he took the pass and put it through the legs. And we've seen a lot of goals in this game through the legs. Don, the way he took this pass to turn around and move into the offensive zone was something to marvel at. He almost had to do a spinorama backwards to frontwards to collect the pass and then move into the offensive zone. He was fresh out of the penalty box and took advantage of the pass. Nice play.
Eriksson got a considerable portion of that puck, but just couldn't handle it. It just trickled in.
There he was. You'll see him collect this pass and have to turn around. I mean, and he never stopped his legs. His legs kept going the whole time that he accepted the pass. I think what's fooled the goaltenders in this game, and you're seeing goals through the legs, is the fact that the puck's been rolling. A lot of times the shots have been taken, and somehow they're finding the holes through the legs.
Well, the U.S. came back very quickly within 13 seconds after the Soviets had taken a 2-0 lead. They try to respond in a hurry here in the Soviet zone. 5:52 left in the third period. And, of course, they can reload tomorrow night if they can keep this even within a goal for the second part of this total goal series.
Net off the mooring once again to the left side of Arturs Yerbay. It's Arturs in Latvia. The rest of the Soviet Union, it's Artur. And he likes Arturs. Arturs, the S on the end. He will be going to play in the Super Series after this tournament to play for the Red Army team against the National Hockey League teams. And he's not real excited about it. He's got a young wife and a young daughter at home. And I think he'd just soon get home.
It's a 3-week tour as it is for the club from Latvia. Dinamo Riga. And now to about 5.5 minutes of time remaining here is Taylor has it for the United States. Can't organize the play. Flip it inside the blue line. Soviets with his 1-goal lead now. Snedden down beside the goal. Plays a relay in front, and they couldn't get it out in front to Jay Moore, who'd got in behind the net.
Don, remember it's a turnover right here.
Almost intercepted there. They do keep it until the linesman said it came out, and nobody else in the building saw it.
Now the referee says it's a hand pass.
Oh.
And there's no way that was a hand pass because it deflected off a hand of the American, and you see Mike Sertich with a little smile as the Soviet official made the call. Now remember this, it's a 2-game total point series. Watch this as he calls this a hand pass. He went to knock it down and missed. He went to another American player, so the referee made the call. I don't think it was a correct one. Anyway, a 2-game total goal series. The Americans are trailing by 1 here, getting late. No sense in opening up and end up trailing by 2 or 3 goals with another game remaining. The 2-game total goal series makes for different hockey towards the end of the game, the first game of the series.
Punching check thrown in there on the Soviet player's Narak. Play carries on in the U.S. zone. Vandul, far side, 2 American defenders on him. Titsin gets a chance. Vandul plays it back left side. Delayed penalty is indicated by the Soviet referee. And the U.S. touched the puck right now. The penalty is called. So the USSR will have the manpower advantage once again. 4:47 to go in the third period. It's 3-2 for the visiting Soviets in Orlando.
Good punch to the back of the head. The referee spotted it, roughing the call. 4:47 left on the clock here in the third period. Power play for Dinamo Riga, and it's a 3-2 lead for that same team.
An ill-timed penalty for the United States, trailing by a goal with 4:47 to go in the final period of the first of 2 games. Game 2 tomorrow night, 7:30 Eastern. Join us live for the windup of this very exciting hockey series. The USA selects the Soviet team from Dinamo Riga, Latvia. Vandul now keeps it alive. Matitsin with it, gets the puck back. Soviets try to work closer for a shot. They've been wild from way back. Matitsin to Vandul. He has his angle cut off, puts it back to his defense player. They'll wheel it around. Take all the time in the world, then shoot. Odd Erickson, rebound, scores. Vandul puts it in on the second opportunity.
A rebound goal by Vandul. There was 9 straight passes by the Soviets, 9 of them. They controlled the draw, made 9 passes, nothing too fancy, and finally set up for this shot and then a rebound goal. 9 passes by this club, moving the puck around, staying wide, not taking anything serious as far as fancy plays go. There's the shot, there's the rebound, as both defensemen got tied up with one man in front. I believe that was Belyavsky in front. And you'll see both men move over. Davida didn't see behind him. Vandul kept skating, and he banged the puck in out of midair. But Don, to watch this power play work, and it finally works for this team, 9 straight passes after the draw, finally the shot on goal and the rebound score.
That is their pattern, of course, to take all the time in the world to set up the shot.
Oh, the referee dropped the puck, and as he dropped the puck, Amante got caught knocking the referee down, and Amante has now been thrown out of the game. And Yegorov went right down on his keister and was upset immediately, and it was Tony Amante who knocked him down, and this does not help the American cause whatsoever. He gets thrown out immediately.
Fans on their feet, booing the decision.
It was right off the center ice face-off. Yegorov, as Nelson appeals, Yegorov with 4:18 remaining, tosses Tony Amante out. The Soviets lead by 2. And if by chance Amante did it on purpose, that's not good.
Frankly, we didn't catch it. It happened so quickly just on the face-off there. It was really hard to tell what did happen, but Mike Sertich has lost a fine player, at least for the balance of this night. Now, the fans in Orlando get a chance to watch too much hockey, and they're going back to a habit that we used to find 15 years ago in this game. You don't see anymore generally is throwing debris on the ice. Delaying matters all the more. But it's a very dangerous practice to do this. Player catches a skate, serious injury could result. As John Davidson pointed out a while ago, as we came back from that commercial message, you don't see it very often in hockey, but we do here.
Used to see it a lot, but not anymore, not often at all. It was a bad penalty that Mahar took. He punched the Soviet player to the back of the head. The Soviets took advantage of it for the 2-goal lead. Tomorrow night, Don, the Americans want to play aggressive, but they got to play smarter. They've taken 9 penalties, the boarding, the roughing style. Even though you want to play tough, you've got to play smart. That's hurt their club in the long run, mainly because when you're shorthanded 9 times, that's a good portion of the game in your own zone, killing penalties. You just can't get the offense going.
These teams are at equal strength. That was a misconduct that got resulted in a manpower shortage for the United States. The penalty with the referee being taken down by Amante. Less than 4 minutes to go now. Soviets from their own zone. Erickson watching it. Slide pricing across the line beside him, and Sticks go high. McEachran now mixing it up with a Soviet player, Oleg Narnak.
Grigoryev, I think, was in there too. As things really heat up, and this sets up for what should be an emotional game tomorrow night.
And I think we've got offsetting penalties once again. A referee sending a man from each team, McEachran from the United States, going to the bench.
McEachran has been named the Budweiser Player of the Game for Team USA. He had a real strong game along with Tony Amante and the left winger Brett Harkins for the majority of this game. But the penalty killing Fani, I think, wore the Team USA down a little bit, and the Soviets picked up their offense the more power plays they had.
.346 to go. 4-2. Soviets with the 2 unanswered goals thus far in the final period, breaking back into the lead. Four attackers plus goalies. Soviets break it out 2-on-1. Pass sent the receiver far to the left from Siplikov. No shot possible. Cesarski, long blast that is right on target, handled by Irbay. But not clear. The Americans keep it in. Down, lets the slap shot go, gloved. And he drops it beside his goal, and this time succeeds in clearing.
Because of that last shot, it was a bad clearing pass by Irbay. Set up that long high shot by Dowd. Irbay wasn't very happy with himself.
So Berezhnev, the Soviet player that went off the ice on that last mix-up with McEachran.
McEachran for interference and slashing to the Riga player.
He tried to force it in right on top of Irbay, but Dowd is unsuccessful. He's taken down, and the penalty is going to be called.
So remember, and I keep mentioning this, it's a 2-game total goal series. It's a 2-goal lead.
As we mentioned earlier, Budweiser player of this game is Sean McEachran, currently in the penalty box, but 4-2 is the score. And as you say, if they can get closer than 1, it'll set things up nicely for the start of play tomorrow night.
So for the Team USA here on the power play, Don, they don't want to rush things. They have a full 2 minutes here to work their power play. Here's the penalty. Goes down and he tripped up.
Katlabs took him down, and we'll take 2 minutes off for it. At 17-12, he gets the gate for tripping.
What will hurt the power play here is the fact that Amante's gone, ejected, and McEachran's in the penalty box. So 2 of the best offensive players for Team USA not available for their power play.
Leclerc and Larkin up front with Davida and Predowitz defending in behind them. 4 attackers to 3. Leclerc bangs away and gets run out of the face-off circle along with the Soviet player. So number 5, Zvenyov will try it against his counterpart Larkin, who wins the draw, but they couldn't keep it. The Soviets clear.
Leclerc, a big grinding hitter here in this game, has come back from a series of injuries, Don, and he's picked up his collegiate play throughout this season. He's gotten better in this game.
This is Larkin down the near boards, leaving it for Davida, but it is offside on the play. Face off at the blue line of the Soviet team. 4-2 they lead, 2:29 to go. The Soviets now have outshot the United States, 28-26.
To try and talk about players who play well, we have to talk about Artur Irbay. Congratulations to him, the Budweiser Player of the Game for Team Dinamo Riga. He was especially sharp in the first period when the Americans had the majority of their scoring chances.
David Predowitz from Clarkson University brings it inside the line with Leclerc and with Larkin, but they can do nothing with it. Soviets jam it back out of there again. Long lead pass, that is broken up with Karsh in pursuit. About 2 minutes to go now. Larkin for Leclerc. Being watched in the corner by Chudinov. Flipped high and out of the zone, all the way down the ice. Very dangerous player, Velyevsky on the ice, makes the pass, and Eriksson just steers that off target. What the U.S. doesn't need is to go down 3 goals here with tomorrow's game coming up in a total goal series. They'd love to get one right back. Dowd swings in front, leaves it there, and behind the net, taken down on the play. Penalty's going to be called again. There'll be another manpower advantage for the United States. The Soviets finally will come in and touch the puck, and the penalty will now come into effect.
And I think it's Grigoriev will get the call. Dowd smartly in the offensive zone had the puck. He was hooked up a little bit, so he spread out, took the dive, and it was a smart play. Here you see Dowd going wide in behind. There's a little hook. Now watch the legs come up as Dowd goes down. It was smart. It's late in the game. There's 1:29 remaining, but perhaps this will give Team USA an opportunity to get back closely. A timeout's been called by Mike Surdich and the American squad to try and set up this power play, and the face-off will start in the Soviet zone.
Konstantin Grigoriev in the penalty box while they take that timeout with 1:29 remaining.
And how much is left on the other penalty? Will this be a two-man advantage?
Well, we don't have
out,
the luxury of penalty clocks in the arena here. They give you running time and shots on goal, so we'll have to do some calculating.
Looks like it's 58 seconds of two-man advantage. By my calculations, I think I might be wrong on that.
In any event, it's a wonderful opportunity for the United States to narrow the Soviet lead with that second game coming up tomorrow night. The Americans have scored on the power play tonight. Soviets have not.
McEachran now back from serving his penalty, and he'll help get this power play going. It starts as a 5-on-3 here in favor of the Americans, trailed by 2 with 1:29 remaining, and this is perhaps a crucial part of this entire two-game series.
Dowd's out there, Naparella with McEachran. Trudowitz saw the point.
All McEachran wants to do is get the puck to the boards, which he does. Now the Americans control it.
Here is Dowd with it. Makes the pass, face-off circle deflected out of play. 1:21 to go.
In this situation, Don, I think for a power play that hasn't worked together a whole lot before, try and set up some sort of a decent point shot, get people crowding Yerbay, and perhaps scoring the rebound or cause a screen in front of him. I think anything too fancy for a team that hasn't worked together very often or for too long, it's really tough to make a pretty power play goal in that situation.
5 attackers to 3 in favor of the United States. Urbay plays defenseman and clears all by himself. U.S. forming up the attack now. Dowd brings it inside the line. He is ridden off by Chudinov into the corner. They bang and battle away. Soviets try to dig it free and clear. Americans want to keep the pressure on here in the final minute of the third period. It comes out over the blue line. Soviets get a 2-on-1 break. That is shot wide. Matitsin digs for the rebound, falls in the corner. Leaves it there for Trudowitz of the United States. 45 seconds to go.
And it's now a 5-on-4 as the Soviets killed off a long 5-on-3.
Here's the pass to McEachran closing in with Breslin. Gets it in front. Here's the shot. Rebound. And a great scoring chance by Naparella. He couldn't get it past Yerbay.
Naparella's had 2 glorious scoring chances here in the third period. And Yerbay on the last one here makes a good save. A real good save. Naparella is in the slot waiting for the pass. He took the check and dumped the puck off to McEachran, who looks up. See him look up? Now he feeds back, and there's the low shot through traffic that Yerbay made another fine save on. A good setup by McEachran. Naparella did the right thing in releasing the shot quickly. But here's this Riga goaltender getting in the way once again.
Budweiser player of this game for the Soviet team. 35 seconds to go in the period.
Yerbay likes to keep a running diary or a journal on all of his games and practices and things he's done throughout his career, training progress, whether it's worked for him or not, and he goes back and checks out that program that he's kept up with over the years. It's a very interesting individual.
Just the way he used to do it, right?
Couldn't write. Couldn't read either.
Not with the blocker on. 4-2 it is.
There's a good chance you'll see this gentleman in a Minnesota North Stars uniform. I don't know when, but sometime I would think in the near future.
Drafted by them 2 years ago. All right, McEachran on the draw for the United States. Puck rolls into the corner. Zanofiev for the Soviets tries to clear. Linesman gets pinned in the fray over there. Soviets finally clear the zone. 25 seconds left.
Good penalty killing here by the Soviets. What could have been it is a 4-2 game, could have been 4-3 with that 5-on-3 opportunity. Big portion of the game for the Soviet team.
Our play continues. One more chance close in for Naparella, and smothering it is Urbe with 10 seconds to go.
Naparella and McEachran moving in on Urbe, moving wide. And Urbe will drop down to his knees, put the goal stick out, and try and force the player into the move. Here's Naparella moving in, but see how he has to come wide? Never gets a clean shot away. McEachran followed up looking for a rebound and couldn't get to it. The Americans forwards showing some pretty good speed to the outside.
Well, they surely in this situation missed the likes of Amate, ejected for running into the referee right off a face-off and getting a misconduct for the night.
Well, I really miss Amate on that 5-on-3.
And that should just about do it for the evening in terms of scoring. And with 3 seconds to go, it's back in the United States zone, and the Americans will start off tomorrow night. 2 goals in arrears. The 2 goals they gave up to the Soviets in the third period, breaking a 2-2 tie in Game 1. 4-2 is the final for the visiting team from Riga in Latvia.
We talked all game about the American penalty killing. Finally, it caught up to them as they took some unnecessary penalties in the third period. Then the penalty killing showed late for the Riga club. I still think that this should be a very interesting contest tomorrow as some of the players shake hands here.
We'll have Game 2 for you, 7:30 Eastern Time tomorrow night. But here is the man of this hour for the Soviet Union, Artur Urbe. Handshakes all around for an exciting hockey game. This crowd here in Orlando loved. Hope you've enjoyed it too.